Billy Butcher is dying. But that's not the tragedy you think it is. Because what if I told you? The biggest villain in the boys' universe isn't Homelander. It's the man who swore to destroy him. Yeah, the very man who spent years hunting monsters, maybe transforming into one. And no, this isn't just another edgy anti-hero storyline. This is the endgame for the boys. Think about it. Since season 1, we've watched Butcher bury his humanity piece by piece, all for revenge. But now in season 5, he's not just fighting the Supes, he's fighting himself. And here's the forbidden part nobody's talking about. His new powers aren't natural. They weren't given by Vought, they were activated. By something that shouldn't even exist. When I saw that final scene of season 4, I froze. That wasn't anger in his eyes, that was void. Karl Urban didn't look like a man planning vengeance. He looked like a man who had already accepted damnation. And somehow I understood him. Because haven't we all wanted to become the monster? Just to destroy a bigger one. What if Butcher's transformation wasn't an accident? What if Project Odessa, the same experiment that created Marie and Homelander, was always meant to evolve him? What if Billy Butcher is the final phase? The ultimate weapon that Vought couldn't control. Now imagine this: a suit built from hate, not science. A soldier whose power isn't fueled by V or compound VF, but by pain, rage, and guilt. Tell me that's not more terrifying than Homelander himself. See, The Boys was never about good versus evil. It was about corruption, the infection that spreads once you get a taste of power. And Billy Butcher has finally caught it. The same disease that destroyed every suit before him is now eating him alive. He was supposed to be our hero, the man who fought for justice. But in season 5, he's crossing the one line no one comes back from. He's becoming what he hates. And that, my friends, is the darkest truth the Boys franchise has ever revealed. Subscribe segment natural, emotional, one-time drop. If you love uncovering hidden clues, secret timelines, and the twisted psychology behind The Boys, make sure to subscribe right now. Because this isn't just another theory video. This is the breakdown Vought doesn't want you to see. Reveal setup, forbidden knowledge begins. Now here's where things get sinister. In Gen V Season 2's finale, Marie's power-up wasn't random. Her ability to control blood, to make it explode, was a direct reflection of what's happening inside Butcher. And if you think that's a stretch, it's not. Because both Marie and Butcher share one terrifying origin, Project Odessa, the same experiment that created Homelander. Project Odessa wasn't designed to build heroes. It was designed to weaponize rage. Marie was the prototype, a controlled test. Butcher, he's the failed version that broke containment. He wasn't supposed to survive, but he did. And every cell in his body is mutating, adapting, becoming stronger, angrier. And if Gen V taught us anything, it's that when blood becomes your weapon, your humanity dies first. Be honest. If you had Butcher's powers for one day, would you use them to protect people? Or would you burn everything that hurt you? Comment below, because I want to know who among you would choose revenge, and who would choose redemption. Now, here's the insane part. Remember when Butcher effortlessly took down Victoria Newman in Season 4's finale? That wasn't strength. That was control. The same blood manipulation Marie just learned. You see it now, don't you? He's not a regular Supe. He's something else. A weapon that Vought never finished programming. And the truth is, the only reason he hasn't exploded like the others is because his rage keeps him stable. But the second that rage fades, he dies. That's why he can't stop. That's why his war against Homelander isn't vengeance anymore. It's survival. And let's be real, only Billy Butcher could turn dying into a personality trait. The man looks like he drinks regret for breakfast and sarcasm for dinner. But you gotta respect him. Even his cancer's afraid to kill him. Think back to Season 2, when Becca begged him to stop. When Ryan needed a father figure. That man died a long time ago. The one left now, he's a ghost wearing flesh, fueled by purpose, powered by hate. And Season 5 is about to expose how deep that hate truly goes. Because Marie's evolution in Gen V was just the beginning. She's not just a side character. She's the mirror of Butcher's transformation. Two sides of the same experiment. One still human, one completely gone. So what happens when they finally meet? When the blood manipulator faces the blood-fueled beast, only one of them walks away. And it won't be the one who still has a soul. Coming up next, we're going to break down the hidden connection between Homelander's DNA, Project Odessa, and how Butcher may be carrying the same genetic signature that created Homelander in the first place. Because if that's true, then Season 5 isn't about revenge anymore. It's about evolution, The moment the boys becomes the monsters. Stay with me? We're just getting started. Let me ask you something wild. What if Billy Butcher isn't just fighting Homelander? What if he is Homelander in another form? Sounds crazy, right? But every clue from Gen V Season 2 whispers the same thing. Project Odessa didn't just create Homelander, it replicated him. And Butcher might be the final result of that replication, a clone born out of failure, pain, and rage. Why do you think Vought stopped talking about Project Odessa? Why did they bury it under so many classified files that even Grace Mallory couldn't dig it up? Because it wasn't just about creating superheroes. It was about controlling gods. And if Homelander was their first success, Butcher was their insurance policy. Here's the forbidden truth no one is ready to admit. Homelander and Butcher were always connected, not just by ideology or rivalry, but by biology. Homelander's DNA was cloned, spliced, and rewritten to create a weapon strong enough to kill him if he ever went rogue. That weapon? A human prototype named William Butcher. But something went wrong. The DNA didn't just bond, it merged. The human host developed an immune response, mutating the serum, creating a version of Compound V so unstable that it turned emotions into power. That's why Butcher's abilities are unpredictable. He doesn't shoot lasers. He doesn't fly. His power comes from rage, from feeling. He's a human engine running on hate. What if layer? So what happens when a man built from hate runs out of it? What happens when Butcher has no one left to blame, no one left to kill? Does he just stop existing? Or does his body implode, collapsing under the very energy that made him a monster? Maybe that's why he's dying. Not because of Temp V, but because his body can't contain the truth anymore. Okay, pause for a second. If you found out you were secretly engineered from your worst enemies, would you tell anyone? Or would you destroy the truth before it destroys you? Drop your thoughts below. I want to see who among you would confront your maker, and who would burn the evidence. According to leaked Gen V lab data, Project Odessa experimented with a modified form of neurological acceleration. Translation: they amplified brain chemistry, especially the limbic system, where anger and fear live. Homelander's version made him a god. Butcher's version made him a demon. That's why he can sense Supes. That's why he doesn't need Compound V injections anymore. His body is the weapon. He's permanently running on survival mode. Blood boiling, nerves firing at maximum capacity. He's living proof that humanity can evolve through hate alone.